Joining me now is good friend of Rebel News, good friend of freedom everywhere, and someone I recently saw at the Rebel News birthday party in Toronto. It's Rick Egersich of Canada's National Firearms Association, and big developments, I think, out front, but also behind the scenes in the firearms community. I think we're going to talk about what happened, or rather what didn't happen in Cape Breton, what Colt's been up to, the extension on the Amnesty. Once again, guns so dangerous, you have to take them from law-abiding owners, except you get to keep them for 6 years. And a whole host of other things. Rick, thanks so much for coming on the show. I'll let you pick where we start. What's stuck in your craw first?
Thanks for having me on your show again, Sheila. I appreciate it. What's stuck in my craw? I've got several things. Actually, I brought a bunch of notes today, which I usually don't do, but the Cape Breton thing is turning out to be a major flop. The Liberals aren't letting any information out on what the stats are, what they've seized and stuff. I think they're doing that because I don't think they seized too much. Last I heard, it was about 30 firearms, and that was 2 weeks into the program. But they extended the program another 4 weeks. So I think to boost up the statistics, what we've been hearing out east is I just spoke to my Atlantic Provinces director this morning, Donald Feltham, and he reached out to a few gun clubs, and the gun clubs replied back to him and said that they don't know of any guns that have been turned in. I think what the Liberals are pushing, and they're playing their Liberal games and saying, well, they're almost telling people that they have to do this, but people need to understand they don't have to do this. The amnesty was extended for a year, so they fall under the amnesty. It just the so-called test pilot project doesn't seem to be working for them. So that's where they're at right now. But there's a lot of other stuff going on there behind the scenes. For example, the chief of police is the MP's brother-in-law, and he didn't even make his troops aware of what was going on. All his officers, I forget what the number was. I think it was 160. Oh, there it is right there. 160 officers were not consulted. They don't know. They didn't have a clue what was going on. So it was kind of a thing going on between the chief of police and his brother-in-law for this gun confiscation to appease the Liberals. So it's a real mess out there. From what we've been hearing, nobody wants to turn in their firearms, and they're not gonna until they're legally obligated to do so. So I hope they stay with that, and we're encouraging Cape Bretoners to do that. Hang in there as long as you can. Don't do anything till the law tells you to. Don't do anything till the law makes you turn in your firearms.
Yeah, this Cape Breton flop, and I probably didn't explain it properly, but this is where the Liberals are testing their gun confiscation program in a super safe Liberal riding where the police chief and the local MP are family. And even there, they couldn't get it to work properly. And I think it is a synopsis of what's to come in the rest of the country. And just an added layer of something onto this is that the Liberals have created scarcity. So they've capped the payouts for firearms owners. So if you're not first to hand in your firearms, then you may not get paid. So even though they've extended the amnesty because we're so dangerous, we still get to keep our guns. But they're making it financially advantageous for you to be one of the first in line to get paid. So turn in your gun so you can get paid. But even then, people aren't willing to do this because it's about principle for so many of us. And I think the Liberals just can't understand that.
Exactly. And the thing is, this whole payout thing, how can they, this is a classic Liberal move. How can they claim that's fair? Like, we'll pay you out till we run out of money. I'm curious to see what the budget is going to be. everybody's sitting on pins and needles about the budget, but I'm curious to see how much money, if they're going to talk about the gun buyback at all. I know right now it's going to, their numbers are out of whack as far as what they're going to spend. And, it's going to be billions and of Canadian taxpayers' money. And right now, Canadian taxpayers can't afford to spend billions of dollars on this gun buyback. And I think there's a lot of turmoil in the Liberal Party right now. And I think part of it is going to be infighting that's maybe going to help turn this around a bit.
So do you think that infighting is Liberals actually listening to their constituents? Because, like I'm in Alberta, so we don't have any rural Liberals.
Yeah.
We don't have any Liberals, really. But we
true.
don't have any rural ones. But there are places in this country where there are rural Liberals, I'll say like on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Are they actually listening to their constituents? Because this is disorienting me a little bit. I don't really have that experience from Liberals.
I think the Liberals are listening to Natalie Provost more than anything. I think the problem is that Natalie is threatening them with Quebec, and if they don't follow up on this gun ban, she is going to turn on them and that possibly get an election going. And I think that's part of the problem. She is she's not in a good mood after the SKS thing, after the public safety minister stated that they're not going to ban SKSs. I think that was between her and Polly Say-Souvier and Wendy Kirker, Heidi Rafkin. I think between all of them, they're mad because they're not banning the SKS, and they kind of thought that they were gonna. So that's another issue, and it all goes back to Liberal infighting.